welcome to the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy Holistic Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Beverly, and we have the most delightful, wonderful guest that I've known for about 2 years now. She's funny and fun. It's Dr. April Lynn James. She is the founder of April plus Madison, a Wonderland-inspired holistic wellness and arts enterprise. She is affectionately known as the PhDiva. Dr. April is a classically trained soprano with a PhD from Harvard. Her delightfully readable book, it's relatable too, if you like music, The Tenth Muse, How Maria Antonia Advanced the Pastoral Opera. It debuted as #1 on the bestseller list and is an international bestseller even now. Although she grew up taking vitamins and doing yoga, only during her doctoral studies did April begin her wellness journey in earnest in order to heal from stress-induced weight gain, depression, and tendonitis. Getting a PhD is rough. The decade of awfulness following the graduate school took her further along this path, leading to encounters with her guardian angel, Madison Hatta, a Sonneteer, I mispronounced it, sorry, with whom she continues to collaborate in creating poetry and Wonderland-inspired whimsical things. She shares uncommon knowledge and skills so that people recover their innate joy and vitality. Today, Dr. April will talk to us about total well-being through the Alice way. Welcome, Dr. April.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Beverly. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone who's watching. Yeah, so wonderful to be here.
So you have some new adventures, but tell us how you overcame what you overcame and how you're now helping people with the same issues.
How I overcame a lot of stuff to overcome. Yes, doing a doctorate, as you know, doing a doctorate is not the easiest pursuit. People don't generally realize how stressful it can be to be in this kind of pressure cooker environment that is graduate school and a doctoral program. And I didn't really know what I was getting into either when I wound up at Harvard. I'd gone to Queens College, City University of New York as an undergraduate. I'm a native New Yorker. And City University, Queens College is a public university, public college, and has a very different take on academics than these Ivy League schools, these, tier 1, research 1 institutions. And after my first year in graduate school, I found myself with tendonitis in my right arm from typing, sitting at the computer, typing all the time. I was depressed, and I'd gone up 1 whole dress size.
Wow.
And I was going, wait a minute, this is not good. This shouldn't be happening. This is not, I've got to do something. And I relied on my instincts. I listened to my body. I think we're taught to not listen to our bodies, but I listened to my body and I listened to the intuition, and I had the instinct to just get out of the music library, get away from the computers, get out of the music department, get away from Harvard as much as I could. And I went to the Laundry School of Music, which is a conservatory down the street from Harvard, where they taught early dance. There's an early music program there, and they taught early dance as part of it. Since I was into 18th century music, I figured, great, I'm going to take Baroque dance. And then I found there was a modern dance class at Harvard in the Radcliffe campus, so I took that. I found a Bulgarian woman who taught mime independently in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I said, why not? Let me take that, because I had taken some mime before. And I got back into juggling because juggling was a skill that I had taught myself years earlier, and it kind of fallen by the wayside. Well, I got back into doing that. And doing all these things regularly, plus getting my yoga practice back within the following year, my second year, the tendonitis went away, the depression lifted, and I went back to my normal dress size.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was at that time I was thinking, oh, okay, I've hit on something here. I knew it was good for me. And then, well, following Harvard, I went back to New York City to turn my research on women composers into an opera company, which I have to say did not go as well as I had hoped. It is New York is a very competitive environment, and it takes a lot of money to get anything done. And I wound up having to move back in with my mother because I just couldn't, get all the things together to make the opera company happen. And while living with her, I discovered that there was some family dysfunction going on. Uh, between my mother, my brother, I have one brother, he's older, and her finances. So there was some triangulation going on. And the end result of all those kinds of things that she would do something out of the goodness for her heart for him, and then she would wind up in the hospital.
Um,
And I kept having to drag her out and try to help her. And yeah, so by the end of that, that's why I call that the decade of awfulness.
yeah, yeah, that's challenging because it's not even your problems.
Right. It's like it's not my problem, but it keeps becoming my problem. So then again, by the end of that decade, I needed something else to drag me, to get me out of, because I was beginning again to fall into depression, and the career wasn't working and things weren't going right. Well, that's where Alice in Wonderland came in. Yeah, I had not planned to go see that movie. This is the Tim Burton film. But I had a friend who had passes and we went to see it. And through that film, I met my guardian angel, Madison Hatta, Sonneteer. And yeah, the turnaround of my life began again. It's like the spiritual journey continued. And eventually I managed to get out of the dysfunctional family situation.
And moved to Florida.
And yes, well, yeah, I moved to Philadelphia first and then to Florida, and realized, in this whole process, again, that I was going, what I've been through, I can help others.
Mhm.
Because it's not, what I've always felt that anything I learn, I want to share with others and help others who
Mhm.
are going through some of the same things. Look, we're in a society now where everyone's on the computer. So anyone who's sitting at the computer too much and realizing that their body is not happy with it, I can help. And again, and also anyone who's going through the dysfunctional family situation or other kind of situation, well, Madison and I can help put the fun back into dysfunctional situations.
Yes, and you're really good at putting fun into things.
Thank you.
So, so you have your book, The Tenth Muse, and now you have a class you're putting together. So tell us about the class.
Yes, okay. Well, I'll tell you about the class. So the class is not, so the Tenth Muse was my book on Maria Antonia, just to let the audience know that, I wrote what it used to be my dissertation. It's now a much better, much more readable and fun book that, as you mentioned, debuted at #1 and stayed up there and continues to be a bestseller. In fact, Maria Antonia, so the Maria Antonia, Electress of Saxony, composer, poet, singer, and patron of the arts, who wanted to turn Saxony into the fine arts capital of Europe in the mid-18th century. Her birth anniversary is coming up in the middle of July, July 18th, 2024. So
300 years.
300 years, yeah. And so I'm very happy that this book is out so that people can learn about her, what a fabulous woman she was, and what fabulous music she wrote. And as one of my projects still to record some of her music. And that's part of the reason I published my book, is to say, hey, there's some stuff out here. I'm the PhDiva. I can sing this. Let's get together and do it.
So your book cover I don't know if your book covers this or not, but why is it most women composers are ignored? We only know about the men.
Well, I think men had positions where they could have students and thereby have the publicity that then goes along with having students who carry on your legacy. They were much more likely to have positions like that. You know, J.S. Bach, Jean-Philippe Rameau, any of these composers who had court appointments were more likely to have more people, more visibility than many women who are composers. At least we're talking about women who were composing before the 19th century. Gets a little bit easier to have the visibility in the 19th century for women. Maria Antonia had plenty of visibility, actually, compared to some of her contemporaries, other women who were composers at the same time, because she ran her own musical establishment.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah,
really? Nice.
she was Princess Royal in Dresden, and so she and her husband, they had their own palace and they had their own stage, and she, could take. She was basically in charge a lot of the cultural life at the court and in Dresden, and in Saxony. She was well respected and well thought of, and she could pretty much do what she wanted.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So it's
Yeah.
harder when you don't have the notoriety, when you don't have the following, when you don't have those court appointments that, the king says, yes, you are my court musician, and therefore you get, things that come along with it.
Yeah.
Harder. Yeah, sure.
So how do you use this music and things to help the people who come to you for help?
Ah, well, so now in the post Maria Antonia journey, now we're talking about the Alice way, which is my 5-step Wonderland-inspired approach to total well-being. I talk about how music is part of inspiration. The Alice way, I call it the Alice way because each of the steps takes its name from one of the letters of the heroine from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So A is awe, developing a sense of awe, as opposed to awe, which you don't want. You don't want
Yeah,
awe.
you don't want
You don't want
awful.
that. You want awe. L is about love and also levity.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I is for inspiration. C is for courage. And E is for exercise.
Exercise. Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Don't
And
sit
I
in front of
believe
the
in
computer. Get
mhm,
up and move.
get up and move. I'm a proponent of fun physicality to
Nice.
build flexibility of body and mind.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So this class will be later in July, so you have an early bird discount for
I
people.
do. I do have an early bird discount for anyone who registers before the class goes live. The class is going to be it's going to be a video course, and it will go live online at the end of July. So anyone who registers before then will get an early bird discount.
Nice.
Yes,
And you have a free gift. It's a PDF, your guide to the Alice Way.
I
And
do.
tell us about that.
That is as it says, your guide to the Alice Way. It gives a brief synopsis of each one of the steps and so that people can get a flavor for the things that are contained in the longer course.
Cool. So to get that free gift, you go to free gift from April.com. So
Free
free
gift
gift
from Dr. April. So
from Dr.
Dr.
Oh,
April.
sorry.
That's all right.
Bad eyes here. So free gift from draprapril.com, all one word except for the .com. So free gift from drapril.com.
That's right.
And so do you have now you were telling me that you sometimes help people one-on-one using astrology. Tell us about that.
Yes, well, astrology I find is one of the best ways to get to know oneself. So the Alice Way, in addition to awe for A, it's also about authenticity. And I've been studying astrology since I was 8 years old. I took out my first book on astrology from the library when I was 8. And I've found it to be a really useful tool for understanding myself and my relationship to others and the world. And others that I have done charts for have likewise found it that way. So I do some one-on-one consultations, astrological consultations, helping people understand their birth chart, understanding their solar return. And anyone who would be interested in working with me on that, they can email me directly.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any closing argument or comments?
Closing arguments, ladies and gentlemen.
Closing argument, not a debate. Sorry about that. Any closing comments?
So if people wanted to contact me directly, they could email me at aprilplusmadison@gmail.com. That's my direct email. My company is April Plus Madison. I'm April, and Madison Hatta is my not so silent partner in this endeavor. And I just really encourage people to play, to really bring the energy of Wonderland into their day-to-day lives so that you can make every day a frabjous day.
In what day?
A frabjous day.
Frabjous Day. Okay.
Frabjous day. Yes.
I love how you play with all the words.
Well, thank you. Well, that's how Lewis Carroll played with the words. The thing about the Alice Way is that it does, so it not only draws its name from the heroine of Alice's Adventures, but there is plenty of Lewis Carroll's work in my course. There are excerpts from the Alice books in there. And Frabjous Day, that comes from the poem Jabberwocky, that is in Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There. So the second Alice.
Cool. So people can get hold of you by subscribing to the free gift at freegiftfromdrapril.com. They can email you, or they can go to your website. Tell us your website.
My website, aprilplusmadison.com. And then on there, I have my speaker sheet. So if anyone would like to have me come and speak about the Alice Way, you can download my speaker sheet directly from my landing page, or you can send me there's a little form you can fill out on my landing page, about your conference or other event that you'd like to have me present, do a workshop for. I am open to traveling and happy to speak wherever the speaking calls
And
me.
you can bring fun and even juggling to the
And
program.
that's right. I can bring fun and even juggling to the program. Yes. Yeah. Fun physicality. Wait, I have a juggling. Like you can't really see it on camera because it keeps disappearing into the background. Maybe if I use the purple one, maybe. No, you can't really see that one either. Well, anyway.
It's always so much fun to talk to you. Thank you so much for being our guest today. And everyone, remember to be the light you want to see in the world.
Thank you for having me.